All right, guys, welcome back to another video. We just did a couple videos. I'm super tired, but I wanted to do this video because I just reached in my pocket and I pulled out some money. And in this video, we're going to talk about, is life like the game Monopoly? All right, guys, Daniel Phillip here, back with another video. Hey, good evening. In these videos, we take the boots off at the end of the day. And I just come into the studio. We share a few things. And today we're going to talk about this question. Is I just thought of it, and I've been asked this question before. It's like, is life like just a game of Monopoly? All right? Is life just like a game of Monopoly? And if you guys haven't played a game Monopoly before, it's like a board game. Christian, have you played? Have you played Monopoly? Right? Some of you guys play Monopoly and you guys are savages. Like I played Monopoly a few times. I played Stronghold Crusaders. I played all those different games. I like them. I'm a bit savage when I play. I'm a bit competitive, but sometimes I put the brakes on and I just take a step back. But I haven't played in a long time. But right here in my hands, I just pulled this out of my pocket, and it's pretty crazy how much this resembles Monopoly money. And it's like this, just like Canadian dollars. By the way, I'm in our office in the Philippines, and I've got 20 pesos. I've got 500 pesos, and Christian has his hand out here. And I got 100 pesos. Here you go, Christian. There you go. You don't want it? Just take it. Just take it. Just take the 100 pesos. I'll ask it back from you. And then I got 20 pesos again, and I got a few thousand pesos here. I don't want to flex, but it's just money. All right. So a few years ago, I was on a beach in Australia, in my car, had absolutely no money, no money, absolutely no money. Okay. And then I went and I did some work, and then I went as I became a guinea pig. And long story short, you guys can look back at that video where I tell my whole story, or the podcast that I do, and then I start the game. All right, I start to get a bit of money, and I start to think about what I'm doing with my money, because prior to that, what I had done was I worked a whole bunch. Okay, I worked for people, and I made a bunch of money, and then I took a flight down to Australia, had a lot of fun, blew it all. All right, I just spent every single dime on traveling around, having fun. And then I ended up with nothing, and I'm just like, oh my, where did this go? How did I make a bunch of money and then it was completely gone? I'm like, how did that happen? And then when I started to make money again, I was just like, okay, maybe I need to just take a step back and consider what I'm doing with my money. Okay, just like the game Monopoly, when you start to make a little bit of cash, you can decide what to do with the money that you got. All right. Question: is life like Monopoly? Well, I'm starting to see a lot of resemblance here, because what I started doing next was I started taking the little bit of money that I had. And the weird thing was I started to invest it in small different things. I started to take risks, and I started to find different ways to make money with the money that I had. I started to invest it into different things, and one of the things was I started my first brand. All right, I learned how to build a brand, and I was totally overloaded with information. I'm like, is this even possible? Can I do it? Can I do it? So many questions. And then I risked a little bit of money and putting in there, and it just disappeared. All right, but I saw other people doing it, and then I'm like, this has to work. This has to work. It's like in the Monopoly, when you're playing a game on Monopoly, and your brother or sister sitting there, or your friend, and they're starting to win, and you're like, it's possible. All right, it's possible. And then you're like, okay, what do I need to do? What are the steps that I need to do in order to do that? And that was what happened with me. I was like, okay, I need to get this money, and then I need to test and to see if I can actually make this happen. A really weird point in my life, because I was starting to understand how things actually worked. Because prior to that, I didn't really understand how things actually worked. I didn't understand the rules of the game. of life in terms of like financial stability and stuff like that, yada yada yada, big numbers, big things, and I'm still figuring things out. And by no means have I figured out the whole thing, but I figured out a few small principles. Okay, I want to share the principles with you, and this goes right back to Monopoly. Okay, so in Monopoly, when let's say you have a couple streets, okay, like a couple lots, and if you have 3, then you can start building on these lots, right? And let's say you've got a friend, and this friend, he's got the lot that you want. Let's say green. I don't know the names, I forget the names, but let's say you have 2 greens and he's got 1 green. Well, then you have to start finding out how you can get the green, right? There's a few different ways. You can make it so that he owes you money, or you can give him some money when you make some money for the green. But maybe he wants the greens, maybe he wants the greens, okay? But you have to give him some sort of value in order to obtain that thing. This is one principle that I want to put out here, okay? This is a clear, defined principle that is at the fabric of being able to get to that next level and slowly start to build whatever you're trying to build, okay? And that is this. You need to be able to give as much value as you possibly can to get what you want to get, okay? Let me repeat that. You have to be willing to give as much value as possible, even if it is all the time that you have, even if it is all the money that you have. If you know something that you will get you to the next level, okay? So for instance, your friend's got the 1 green, you got the 2 greens, you'd be like, hey, yo, I'll give you 200. He's like, no, man, it's worth more. I'll give you 500. And then he's like, no, I'll give you 1,000. I only have 1,000. He's like, no. Then you have to wait. You have to wait for another round. Okay, you make a little bit more money and you say, hey, and then he's like, no. And then you say, okay, you know what? I'll give you some more. I'll give you all my cards if you can get me to this next level, right? But the basic principle is you have to give value first. My father said, when I was younger, and I just recently started to understand what it's starting to mean. He said, the best money you could ever spend is the money that you give away. All right? The best value that you could ever give is the value that you just give away for free. Okay? You just give, not expecting to get back, and you will then in turn start to see things flourish in your life. It's the same thing in relationships, right? I have to give value to someone in my life in order to see value back, right? It's the same thing in relationships. Like if one person is not giving value, you're not going to see, that's just not going to work out. If one person is just only giving the value and the other person is just taking, it's not going to work out. You have to have some sort of balance. You have to have some sort of, okay, you give some value, they give some value, and you slowly start to work and be like, yo, it's based on trust. You know, it's like that's what defines a relationship. And in building, when you're starting to build this world around you in terms of whether you're building a career for yourself, or you're building, a brand, or you're building a business, or you're building a movement, you have to start investing time and all the money. You got to go all in on that specific thing, and then slowly you will start to see things accelerate and improve and grow and grow and grow and grow until next thing you know, you have already achieved and surpassed the goals that you possibly could set out for yourself, right? But one thing that I want to say about the game of Monopoly, okay? In the game of Monopoly, there's one section where this totally breaks the laws of a game and this is why I don't believe that people should compare a game with life, because let's say a game of Monopoly is like it has a beginning, middle, and an end, right? That's clear. And life does have a beginning, middle, and end. But in terms of growing something, it's an infinite game. No one sets the boundaries of yourself, right? If you're building a brand, when do you win? Like when you hit like $1 million in sales, or when you go like global and to like a whole, when do you win? It's an infinite game. It's a different game where when you're building a movement, like when do you win? Right? You might have small goals that you pass, and who are you competing with? Right? Maybe the people that you're competing with, maybe that's just like made up in your mind. Like, it's an abundant world. That's where Monopoly, where I disagree, where Monopoly does not really, it can't be compared to 100%, but it does have a lot of similarities and it has a lot of principles to it. All right, guys? What time are we at? 11:30? It's 11:30, but I mean, what time are we at? How many minutes do we have on the...
11:30.
11 minutes and 30 seconds on the rolling? Wow. What does that mean? I don't know, guys. So it's 11:30 and we're at 11... It's 11:34 and we're at around 11:30, 11 minutes and 30 seconds, okay? So I want to wrap this video up, but I want to say this, okay? If you take one point from this video, it is this. Don't get good at Monopoly, okay? But get good at bringing as much value as you possibly can into the lives of the people around you and into the lives of people that are going to help you reach your goal, okay? If you're giving value to someone in your life who's just negative and is just pulling you away from the goal that you know that you're set out, or the gift that you've been given to set out to achieve, you got to stop that. You got to invest in the people that will help you get to the next level. And I can only say one thing. The time that our movement started to grow extremely fast was when I decided to start giving unlimited value. It's 11:30 at night, but I've trained myself to give as much value as I possibly can. This is the third video that we've done in a row. I love doing this, but I've trained myself to just give as much value as I can. I want to be here to help you. I want to be here to help you grow and get to the next level. And I've seen that the effects that that has had in our whole company. I've seen how that has helped us grow. I've seen how that has helped us go into so many different markets. I've seen how that's helped our movement, and even my movement and my specific brand, like the watch, starting to grow and go global. Like last week, we launched in the Philippines here, the watch. Within a few minutes, it was sold out. It just blew my mind. I was like, this is amazing, right? If there's one thing, focus on giving without expecting to receive. Because a couple of years ago, when I started in building a brand and building business, I gave a lot, but I always expected to receive. And because I had that mentality of I want to, like, I know I'm going to get something I'm going to give, but I know that I have to get something back. And with that mentality, it totally destroyed me. It totally destroyed the relationships that I was in. It totally destroyed the partnerships that I was in for business because there was no trust. Because I had a hidden agenda. When you go into building your movement, when you go into building the community, when you go into building the brand or the company that you want to do, go in and build it with as much value as you could possibly can, but do not have a hidden agenda. Go in with open arms, and listen, you're going to get burnt. You're going to get burnt, but go in there and trust every single person that you come in contact with, and give them as much value as you can, because you will see. And it's weird. We have a weird tendency, and we're very smart human beings. We can see when there's someone that has a hidden agenda, or he's got something, he's got something like this guy, I like him, but he's got something weird, or she's cool, but like she's a bit like, we can sense it. We can sense when someone has a hidden agenda. And then when it comes out, you're like, I knew it. That guy had something that he was hiding. Yeah, I knew it. That guy, he had a hidden agenda, or she had a hidden agenda, right? And then it comes all crashing down. Okay, so when you give as much value as you possibly can without expecting to receive, and you will see your relationships grow, your life grow, everything grow with leaps and bounds, and just, it's going to be amazing. All right, and I want to be here for the journey. So with that being said, all right, guys, so that's pretty much it for this video. Is life like a game of Monopoly? All right, guys, if there's one thing, money is just money. Money is like a tool, okay? Money, like this is ridiculous. This is just paper, all right? You should not be emotional about the money that you have. Like, it's just not. It's not. It should not. Okay? It comes, it goes, it leaves. It's there to be used as a tool. A company exists to get to a goal, and money is a tool to get it there. Okay? A car exists is a tool to get to a specific destination, and gas is a tool to get it there. The car does not exist to make gas or just to burn, right? A company exists to get somewhere. Money exists. Money is a tool that's been given as a value exchange to help us get the things that we want to go, and it will help us get to things, get to destinations. All right, guys, bring value first. Don't expect to receive anything. Do not expect to receive anything. With that being said, if you found value from this video, we always appreciate you commenting below. If you have any questions, what should we talk about? What should we talk about? Drop it in the description below. We're doing videos every single day when we can in the studio. Have a powerful day. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful morning. Rise and shine. This is your day. Go ahead, kill it. And I like doing this. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. From me and from the team, happy birthday. All right, guys, till next time, good night, goodbye. Peace.